Hello children, my name is Archana and I am from the UYIR Kutty Cops project. Do you know what the UYIR Kutty Cops project is? The UYIR Kutty Cops project is a project which aims to make Coimbatore the safest place on earth for children and for everybody. How? By making sure that Coimbatore is a zero accident place. Wouldn't that be fantastic, children? To have absolutely no accidents in Coimbatore on our roads? How can we make Coimbatore totally accident free? How can we do that? We can all do that if we follow some rules. Isn't that right? So children, in today's class, we are going to see how can we become totally safe by following a few rules while sitting in the car, right? Children, many of us have cars at home, right? I'm not talking about the toy cars. I'm talking about a real car which our parents may be owning. Maybe daddy owns a car, maybe mummy owns a car, maybe grandfather owns a car or grandmother owns a car, right? And very often we as children, we travel with our mother, father, grandparents in the car to go to different places, right? Sometimes we come to school in a car. Sometimes we go out for fun trips in a car. Sometimes we go to the mall in the car, right? So each of us uses the car, sits in the car when somebody else is driving, right? And then how can we ensure that we are safe? Because when we drive a car on the road, we are using the road. And as users of the road, we have to maintain safety standards. Otherwise, what happens? We become unsafe for the other people who are on the road, right? So today we're going to look at when you sit in a car, what are the things that we have to keep in mind to ensure that we are completely safe for ourselves and for others who are on the road. Okay, we take responsibility not only for ourselves, but for the others as well. That is when Coimbatore can become safe. It's not just about me, it's about me and it's about everybody else who is on the road as well, right? So I'm going to use the Kutty Cop's manual to take us through this class, right? So today we are going to do safety while inside of a car. Children, one of the first things that I want you to do is to use a questionnaire. Okay, there is a questionnaire that I'm going to give you now, which you are going to take it home and you are going to check with your parents for the answers. Okay, I'm going to read out what are the questions over there in that questionnaire so that you are familiar with it. Okay, you are going to become the car inspector. Okay, you're a Kutty Cop, right? As a Kutty Cop, your duty is to make sure that every person is going to be safe and is going to follow the rules, right? Okay, great. So now the first task you're going to do is that you are going to be an inspector. Okay, what inspector? Car inspector. All right. So if you own a car, if your parents own a car, if your grandparents own a car, and if you don't own a car, let's say your neighbor owns a car. Okay, you can do this exercise with anybody who owns a car. Okay, now let us go through the questions in the questionnaire. All right, so you're going to get a copy of this questionnaire And the first question which is there as a Kutty Cop, which you're going to ask your parent or the car owner is, when did you last get your oil changed? Okay, and you are going to write the date of the last oil change, and if the person has said any other comments, you're going to write it down. There are 2 columns there to help you to write the date when the oil was changed and the comments which the person has spoken to you about. Okay, now why is it important to get the oil changed? You don't know? Children, our car uses the oil, right, to lubricate, right? And I think it's important for you to find out. Should I leave it for you to find out, or should I tell you? Children, the oil is very important, and I'll ask you to find out why the oil is important. That part I will not tell you, okay? But I'll tell you this part, why it's important to change your oil, okay? One thing is, when the oil gets old, it starts getting thicker and thicker and thicker, right? And that reduces its ability to lubricate correctly. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is, it also contributes to environmental pollution. Okay, now I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to ask all of you. You guys are in the 3rd standard, 4th standard, 5th standard. Y'all are my little scientists, right? You can go and find out now and tell me why and how does the oil pollute the environment, and why and how should we change the oil in the car. Okay, you're going to find out more about this and let me know. Okay, so here's your project. You're going to write to me after this. Okay, write all your answers to the Kutty Cops project. Okay, I'm going to give you the email ID at the end. All right, I'll give it to you so that you can write back to us. So the first question on your questionnaire to your car owner is, when did you last change the oil in your car? Okay, now the second one is there a check on your brakes? Are your brakes in good working condition? What happens if the brakes are not in good working condition, children? Yes, if the brakes are not in good working condition, suppose suddenly somebody runs on the road, your car cannot apply the brake properly. It takes too long for the brake to engage and stop the car. Then there will be an accident, and then you will not be a safe driver, and then Coimbatore will not be safe because you already caused an accident. So if Coimbatore has to be safe, each and every single one of us has to be very, very responsible, right? Great. Let's look at the next one, okay? Tire check. Children, on the car, do you know we have tires, right? How many tires do we have in the car? 4. Yeah. You all are big children. I know that you know that we have 4 tires. Important for us to make sure that those tires are good tires. They are not bald tires. What happens if our tires are bald? If our tires are bald, they fail to grip the road. Okay? If they fail to grip the road, what happens? Have you heard of the word skid? Yes. So when our tires are not new or good or in shape, then what happens? When they are bald, they tend to slide on the road. Okay? They have to grip the road and drive. When you drive on the road, they have to grip the road. But instead of gripping the road, the tires slide. And when they slide, you do not have control over how the tires move. And that is dangerous. Again, when you apply the brake, instead of stopping, it will slide forward. And again, you may bang into something and cause accidents. Right? So if you want to be really safe, your tires have to be in ship shape condition. Okay? So it's important for you to ask your parent, when did you last check your tires, right? Are they in good condition or not? Yes? Lights. Children, how many lights do we have on the car? We have the headlights, we have the tail lights, we have the signal lights, right? So all these lights have to be working absolutely correctly, isn't it? Have you seen sometimes on the highway cars that are driving without the lights on? Oh my God, isn't that so dangerous? Goodness, we don't want to be that car, right? We have to ensure that each and every single one of our cars is absolutely. So the next thing on the agenda is lights. On your questionnaire, you need to check with your parents, are all our lights working correctly? Are the headlights working correctly? Are the tail lamps working correctly? Right? The headlights are what color? Right, yellow color light that comes out of the headlights in the night time, right? Night time and early morning time, whenever you use your headlights, you're going to see the yellow color, right? What about the tail lights? Red, correct. The red lights indicate to another vehicle which is coming behind you that you are on the road too, and be careful, right? In addition to the headlights and the tail lights, there's one more light. What is that? Oh yes, it is the indicator lights. Very good. So the indicator lights tells you what? It tells you whether a car is going to turn left or right, isn't it? Fantastic. So it is important for us to make sure that whenever we want to turn left or right, our parents must switch on the indicator at least 4 minutes before turning left or right. Okay? And why should we do that? So that we inform everybody who's coming behind us that, look guys, I'm going to be turning here. Please give me space. And so everyone else will make sure that they give space. But if we do not put on the indicator and we suddenly take a turn, then we are unsafe. We may cause an accident, right? So we don't want to do that, right? So it's important to make sure that all the lights are working. So Kutty Cops, test all the lights. Don't just take it for granted when your parents tell you that, yes, all our lights are working. Make them show you, test it out, and then only give them a tick mark, okay? On the questionnaire? Right, great. Water, children, did you know that in the car, in the front, in the engine, there is something called the radiator, which requires water, right? Can you go and check that up? Ask one of your parents or your grandparents to show you where is the radiator and how do you put water inside of it. And the radiator must always have water, because water is a coolant. When the car is running, the engine heats up, right? It becomes really hot. Have you noticed that sometimes when the car is completely running, and after running, when you get out of the car, you touch the bonnet? It's really hot, right? Yes, the engine heats up. Yeah, when the car is running. After the car is stopped, it takes so long to cool down, isn't it? So when the engine is running and it starts heating up, the radiator water is such an important thing, because it helps the engine to keep cooling, so that it doesn't burst, right? So let's check whether our car has correct quantity of radiator water. Okay, so make sure you ask your parents to show you where is the radiator and how do you fill the water. And I'm sure some of your parents will know so much about all of this. Some of them may be automobile engineers and they may be able to tell you so much more. So please don't take it at my word. Ask them for more information. How does the radiator work? Why is the water important? The more you find out, the more we'll be so happy. Right? Okay, let's go on to the questionnaire. Okay, so what is next on the questionnaire? The windscreen. Children, go check the quality of the windscreen. You know what the windscreen is? The windscreen is the mirror, is the glass which is in front of the driver, right? So the windscreen needs to be completely scratch free. It needs to be clean so that the driver can get absolutely clear view. So make sure your windscreen is clear and clean and check it out. Do you think it needs more cleaning? You can do that too for your family. Learn how to clean your windscreen, right? Great. The next point here is the air filter. Okay, please go and check with your parents. Where is the air filter? What does it do? Excuse me. Have we cleaned our air filter? Right? Let's find out and make sure that it's clean, right? And it's pollution free. Okay? The next one is the environmental clearance, children. Each one of our cars requires to be certified by the Pollution Control Board as a car which is completely environmentally friendly. Okay, this means that whatever comes out of the car, what comes out of the car? Smoke, yes. So when the smoke comes out of the car, it should be so pure that it should not spoil the earth. It should not spoil the air that we all breathe. Okay, because in our city there are so many cars, isn't it? If every car is going to pollute the air of the earth or air of the city, then each one of us is going to breathe in really bad air, right? So it is our responsibility to make sure that our car is not polluting the city. Okay, that's when we can live in a safe city, right? So make sure your car is not polluting the city. Make sure that you have the Pollution Control Board certificate to certify that your car is environmentally clean. Check the certificate, children. Ask your parents to show you the certificate. Is it outdated? No problem. You can go and renew it anytime. So make sure that within the next 10 days, your parents go and renew it. Keep after them. They forget so easily, right? Oh, the next point on the questionnaire is the wiper blades, children. The wiper, do you know what it is? The wiper is the thing that goes swish, 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 right? And what does it do on the windscreen? So let's check what's next on the questionnaire, okay? Wiper blades. Children, you know what the wiper blades are, right? The wiper blades are those blades that go swish, 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 swish on the windscreen. And what do? They make sure that whenever it rains, right, your windscreen gets cleared so that the driver has a clear view of the road and all the other vehicles on the road, right? Excellent. So do you think it is important for your wipers to be working, children? Yeah, it is, because you know how much it's raining, right? Almost every day it is raining, and we never know when it's going to rain. Some days when it's very cloudy and we are so sure it's going to rain, it doesn't rain. And other days when we are so sure it's not going to rain, it starts raining. So when it starts raining, what if our wipers are not working? Do you think the driver will be able to drive correctly? No, right? Yeah, And then do you think that you will be a safe driver if you cannot see the windscreen properly and you cannot see the road properly? No, right? If we want to become safe, if we want Coimbatore to become safe and zero accident, then what happens? Your windscreen should be completely clean and absolutely fit for the driver to view the road correctly all the time, whether it's raining or whether it's shining, right? So all your wipers must be working really well. Check it out. Throw some water on the windscreen and ask your dad or your mom or your granddad or your grandmom to use the wipers and show you whether it's cleaning correctly or not. Don't take chumma yes for an answer from them, okay? Test it out. You're the cop, right? You're the Kutty Cop, right? They have to prove it to you. Yes? Great. That's wonderful. So now let's go to the last thing in the questionnaire. Is your car clean? How is it inside? Is it clean? Are there too many things thrown in the car? Are there plastic covers and food and bottle and water and different things spilled in the car and smelling car? Ooh! It's important to keep your car clean inside because that also influences the driver. If the driver is driving in one clean car, he's so uncomfortable. He's angry. He's kind of like, not at all in the right frame of mind. But if the driver is driving in a clean car which has a fresh smell, his mind clears up, her mind clears up, and the driver becomes a safe, happy driver, and that is what is important to make Coimbatore 100% safe, right? So that is your questionnaire. So I'm going to read out all the questions once again just to memorize, okay? Just to give you a sort of a roundup, okay? Not to memorize, sorry. Just to give you a roundup. The first thing you're going to check is oil. When did you last change your oil? You're going to ask your parents, okay? The next one you're going to do is brake check. Excuse me, mom, dad, are your brakes working correctly? Have you checked them out? When was the last time you checked them out? Okay. The third thing you're going to do is a tire check. Okay. Mama, dad, have you changed the tires recently? How many months since you've changed these tires? You're going to write that down. And then lights. Are all our lights working correctly? Front light, back light, headlight, indicator light, everything? Good job. Okay. Water. Radiator water. Good. Why do you need it? Is it there? Is it at the right level? Is it full? Good job. Windscreen. Is your windscreen clean? Really? Okay. Check it out. If it's not clean, learn how to clean it up. You're responsible too. You're part of the family. Good job. Air filter. Mom and dad, have you cleaned the air filter of the car? Is it clean? Have you got your environmental certificate? Show it to me, please. When is the next renewal? Has it been renewed? It's easy to renew. Please pester your parents to renew it. Wiper blades check. Throw some water on the car and say, Mom and Dad, can you use a wiper, please? I want to see if the wipers are working correctly. Don't take just yes for an answer. Experiment and make sure that it's right. Is the car clean inside? That's the last question. And how can you help to make your car clean? How can you clean it? How can you remove all the dirt and debris in it every single day? Make it a ritual every night before you go to bed. Make sure you go to the car, open all the doors, open all the windows, clean it up thoroughly, remove all the things which are not required, make it fresh and clean, and then close the windows again, close the doors, lock it, and then go to bed. You are responsible too, children. It's not only your parents, but you have to take responsibility too. That is when you can make Coimbatore 100% safe. Okay? Now, I told you I'm going to give you our email ID. Okay? Our email ID is kuttycops@uyir.org. Okay? It's easy, right? KUTTYCOPS at UYIR.org. Easy.